Hello everybody, my fellow YouTubers. This is the one and only EMD SD14R broadcasting you live from the Keystone State. I hope everybody's been enjoying themselves. Hope you've been keeping yourselves hydrated. We are in a pretty serious heat wave. I mean, I heard on the radio today it felt like 106 degrees in certain areas, and other locations it felt like it was 113. I tell you, in this weather, it is no joke to play, y'all. So try to keep yourselves, if you don't have to, try to keep yourselves indoors and try to keep fluids in you, and try not to do any strenuous activities unless it involves model trains. Enough for the nature part of this program. Let's get into the aesthetic and cool aspect of it. You guys are looking at this and you're saying, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, it's a Conrail BL2. Yes, it is a Conrail BL2. And no, this is not a dream. This is 100% real Conrail BL2. You're probably wondering if I painted this unit. Well, no, unfortunately I didn't have that luxury of doing that. But if I did, I'd be very happy, but I'm still happy anyway. This unit I actually purchased from the one and only Nicholas Smith Trains. I actually saw it last week when I purchased my Jeep 9 chassis for my Jeep 14R. I saw it in the box last week, and I actually kind of put another box on top of it because it was in a box with a bunch of other Conrail units, and I said I have to get this unit. So what I did is I took my Concord Jeep 38-2 and an old AHM Shark Nose for B&O, and I traded it in on this unit here, which is a Proto 2000. All the locomotives that Nicholas Smith has, whether they're old, new, they rework them and they get them running just as brand new. The guy, I think his name is Mr. Bill, very, very nice gentleman. We got to talking about the Pennsylvania heavy-duty flat cars, the E44s, mainly the E44s though. He said that there still are some E44s around in storage. He heard about it, I think it was about a couple months ago. He said that the one in the Pennsylvania Railroad Museum is not the only E44 around, as everyone has been led to believe. He said that also Amtrak might still have one in storage. A lot of the information he says is pretty accurate, but he said he was going to check on that for me. Also, speaking of E44s, yesterday he got 2 brass ones in, and I just missed them. And that would have been nice to have, but you know, they always get that kind of stuff in, well, once in a blue moon, but it comes in there pretty frequently. But anyway, let me show you what the unit looks like without the shell. That car you're looking at is a Redball, a prototypically correct, I might add, heavy-duty flat car. Athearn made them, and Athearn ready to roll. They make them also. However, the space here is actually the space for this I forget what this is called right here. But anyway, this would actually be longer like that, and that's not the prototypically correct car. This is actually 100% prototypically correct. And by the way, this is a PRR car, and this is a Redball kit. It says it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's the writing right there, old Redball kit. I mean, the trucks have super detail. There's brake wires, cylinders. I mean, these couplers are super old, but they actually work. Like, you can pull the pin up and down and open and close the knuckles. I mean, this car is really good. Metal wheels that are insulated, I might add. This car is actually worth a lot more money than what I paid for it. By the way, I'm getting more of these cars. There's like 4 or 5 of them still left there, and I'm snatching them up. So they're already taken, guys. But they're going to be running in my generator special train, or my dimensional trains, I should say, my wide dimensional trains. I'm going to have a train specifically devoted to hauling these types of cars. It's not going to haul anything else unless unless it has 8 wheels or 16 wheels. It's not going to haul anything else but odd cars like these, I'll say. The pipe is actually metal. I think it's copper, and there's real chains on. These are real chains that are holding it down. Actually, it's an illusion, but they're not glued on there. You can move them around, but the pipe's glued. You know, it's got a wooden floor, but it's been shellacked or whatever, so it's not going to rot. I mean, since it's a Redball kit, I mean, it's survived this long. I mean, it's not gonna go away. I mean, it's not gonna deteriorate or anything. It's like my cast metal crane I have. I have a cast metal. I think it's a 240 to 260 ton diesel powered crane. I showed that in a video, Mainline Action Part 3, where my Amtrak push-pull, Amtrak double-decker train, Amtrak commuter train, or I think it was a commuter train, derailed, and I had to bring out the work train, and that was one of the cranes. The tender didn't come with it. It's also cast metal. It's a old rare Bowser kit for a PRR locomotive, and it was also happened to be painted in the same black as the crane. So I said, why not pair them up? So I did. But back to the, you know, that's very cool. But let's get back to the BL2. Engine is in immaculate condition. All the gears have been reworked. I mean, this engine is just flawless. I mean, I replaced the wheels on it tonight with the Athearn Blue Box wheels because they're the best ones for protos. Proto actually copied the wheels Athearn makes. They copied the plastic gears for the wheels and axles. However, the plastic that they use, it's not thick enough to hold the wheels on, so when the engine rolls, the gears are spinning, but the wheels can be spun independently of those gears, whereas the plastic that Athearn uses for their gears, that doesn't happen with their wheels unless you actually force them. But I put the Athearn Blue Box wheels on it. I have a whole bunch of spare Blue Box parts. Sadly, I heard Blue Box parts aren't that easy to come by anymore because everybody's getting so technically advanced. However, Athearn Ready to Roll is making new versions of is making the new chassis and everything. Like, for example, if you have a Blue Box C44-9CW, you can just get an Athearn Ready to Roll C44-9CW chassis that has a DCC equipped circuit board or DCC ready to plug in circuit board, and you can actually just switch the shells, or you could switch the motors. That's a way to actually save money without having your engine completely hardwired expensively. But anyway, just a little tip there. This is my second BL2 I owned. Actually, it's not my second. This would actually be my fourth BL2 I owned. A long time ago, I'd say about 5 or 6 years ago, I bought 2 Missouri Pacific units, and they was a pretty good steal. The one unit was a good runner, but the other one was just not a good runner. I replaced the wheels on them, I cleaned them, I oiled them, it just didn't work. So unfortunately I had to take those back. But officially in the history of railroading, I've owned a total of 4 of these unique units. But you guys will never see another Conrail BL2 unless someone else paints one or someone else has already painted one that I don't know of. But this was at Nicholas Smith Trains, and it's completely custom. Conrail never owned a BL2. They never owned these locomotives. But if they did, this is exactly what they would look like. It doesn't have an engine number yet. I don't know what number system they would fit in. I don't know if they would fit in between the switchers and the Jeeps. I don't know if it would fit in between those classes, because this is actually, you could say in between, because BL stands for branch line. That's what BL stands for. And the Jeeps are used on branch lines because of their light weight. And switchers are also used in branch lines because they're lightweight, but they're usually mostly used in the yard. So you could say this is an in-between class, I would say. That's what I would say. An in-between class between the switchers and the Jeep 7s and 9s. Or it could be an in-between class between the Jeep 9s and Jeep 10s. I believe Conrail owned a few Jeep 10s. I'm not really sure on that. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry about that. But, you know, I got to figure out what I'm going to number this thing. It's got the cooling coils. Proto actually has a knack for great detail. A lot of model railroad manufacturers, they forget to put these on their F units. I don't know why, but a normal F unit would blow up if it didn't have these cooling coils. So you usually have to add them on yourself. I mean, I don't mind adding a little detail to make it more prototypical, but can't that be added directly from the factory? I mean, who's doing that right now? Rapido's doing that with their FP9s for VIA and Canadian Pacific and Canadian National. They're doing it with their F units. True Line Trains is doing it with their F units. Broadway Limited does it with their units, I think. Did Kato make any F units? I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure of. I don't even think Kato made any F units, but I know they made the F40PH. And I know they made some switchers, like the NW2. I know they made that. And a few other cool locomotives. I really want to get an HO scale Max E1 bullet train in Kato, and HO from Kato. I really want one of those. The only problem is it's $400 and some odd dollars. And that's for a 6-car set. Like $450, $550 for a 5-car set. I'm like... And I found this out from my friend Chris Walker, who is known as the Unknown Avenger on YouTube. He was telling me about it because he's in Japan right now. He was at a hobby store, and I asked him to look at them for me. And he told me the price. I said, no. And I said, man, I said, when I get the money, I said it's probably worth it because they do a lot of cool stuff. I also was looking at a DF, I think it was a DF50 diesel locomotive from Kato. It has a BB wheel configuration. Very cool. It'd be nice. It's like a Tuscan. I call it a Tuscan brown. You could say it's like a Tuscan red, but it's really dark. But it's more like a brown. It would look beautiful. It would look beautiful running with my DF11. But anyway, I just wanted to show you these two odd and never before seen trains that probably anybody won't ever see again, unless you guys probably see my channel, or you guys know someone that is a private collector and they have Redball. Redball is also the company that made the famous the dual cab babyface units. They made a lot of those. They also made the Pollock hot metal cars too. I really like their Pollock hot metal cars. Fully made out of cast metal, very heavy, fully sprung trucks. Metal wheels that are insulated. Some of them came with these type of couplers with the pin that actually works. A magnet, of course, you need a magnet for that, but I mean, you can couple it with your KDs, of course. I test ran the car. It runs good, except where it gets on my other side of the layout where there's a dip in the track. It kind of jumps. So I'm not going to touch this car. I'm going to leave it as is because it's a piece of history right here. A piece of history. I mean, you know, I'm going to be getting more of these cars, so, or the ones that are left there. But I just wanted to show you guys this because this is really, really cool. I had to get my hands on this unit and was willing to trade two units of my own. That's the first time I've ever did that. Usually, in other situations, I don't do that, but since I wanted this unit, I did it, and I don't really have a regret about it. I really don't. Because I didn't really run them anyway. One was a Concorde and the other one was an AHM. I didn't really run them. I ran them once in a blue moon. But the thing is, Concorde you could upgrade, but the thing is, the problem that I had with them is their frames. Like I had a Sioux line. I still have the shell. The chassis actually crumbled in my hand. The whole chassis just crumbled, and that's another reason why I got rid of it, because I was afraid of that. But it was a good engine. It was a Norfolk Southern Jeep 38-2 high hood. some of the details were way off though. Like the front cab, if you looked at it from the front with the short hood, there was no windows for the cab. Like how's the guy supposed to see out of that? The AMH unit was a Baldwin shark nose unit. That was a good unit, but I couldn't upgrade that to DCC. That's where I'm heading. I'm not getting rid of all my engines like that though. That's not happening. No. This isn't one of them. I might trade again, but it's not going to be anything that I'm going to be upgrading. So I just had to do it. It was right now. It's a one-time thing for me. But I'm very happy with the locomotive I got. It's quiet. I mean, it runs better than my C&O BL2. My C&O BL2, which is in a previous video of. It's actually in part 2 of mainline action. It's riding on a flat car. The reason why it's on a flat car is because it doesn't run anymore. Well, it runs, but it just makes this ominous, cranky, crunching noise when it runs, and sometimes it doesn't run at all. So I gotta get that fixed. I replaced the wheels on it too, but you know, it is one of those ominous things. You take care, even if you take good care of locomotives, even real locomotives that are maintained to the highest standards, still have mechanical failure. It's, you know, it's part of the machine. It happens. So you could spend your, 50 hours a day tuning it up, checking it out, take it out on the road, and it still breaks down on you, or something breaks. It just happens. So as long as you take care of your stuff, that's all that matters. Not to say nobody else takes care of their stuff, but I make sure I take care of my stuff. I make sure about that. I try to fix it and do whatever I can to make it run better. But sometimes it's just not. Sometimes it's just a pain, because you're like, it's something so simple, but then you're looking at it and it's so simple, but then it just is such a pain because it doesn't want to cooperate. And that's the thing about this hobby. Sometimes things don't always go to plan, but that's what makes it that much more interesting, and that's what makes it that much more fun. So with that said, y'all, God bless you. Try to stay cool tomorrow and the rest of this week. Hopefully, I heard it was supposed to break next Wednesday, but please don't overexert yourselves, because this weather is nothing to play with. Keep fluids in you. Stay inside. Don't stay under the AC too long, because that's not good for your health either. But anyway, I'll be seeing you guys down the line, and you will be seeing these trains running, and hopefully I'll be making another update video with this car and its brethren. So you guys be cool. God bless you. Bye, y'all.